Thursday, the 5th of April 2018, 7:58 Washington, Beijing, Alliance News. Tariffs on Chinese goods designed to punish trade abuses may not be implemented, USA President Donald Trump's new chief economic advisor said Wednesday. Larry Kudlow told reporters at the White House that Trump is ultimately a free trader and wants to resolve the problems between the U.S. and China as painlessly as possible. Kudlow, who started as director of the National Economic Council this week, said the U.S. threat to add duty of 25% to $50 billion worth of Chinese imports was part of the process, but advised taking Trump seriously on the tariff issue. Comments, which indicate Trump's actions could be a tactic to get China to negotiate on trade practices, helped calm trading on the U.S. stock exchange, which plunged into the red early and fought to recover. The Dow Jones Industrial Average moved into positive territory after Kudlow spoke with reporters. Earlier Wednesday, China announced plans for retaliatory tariffs on $50 billion worth of U.S. products including soybeans, aircraft, cars and chemical products. China will raise tariffs by 25% on a total of 106 products, the Commerce Ministry said. Beijing's announcement came hours after the U.S. published a list of $50 billion worth of Chinese imports that could be subject to punitive tariffs in response to what Washington says is Beijing's theft of U.S. intellectual property. The list of 1,300 products published by the U.S. Trade Representative will undergo further review over the next 60 days before a final decision is made on which of them would be subject to the additional duty. The Chinese tariffs will be implemented at a later date, depending on when the U.S. would impose its own tariffs, the Beijing government said. The U.S. side has repeatedly missed the best opportunity to properly solve problems through dialogue and consultation, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhang Shuang said during a press briefing Wednesday. Indeed, we have said many times before that there is no winner in trade wars. The country that initiated the trade war will eventually hurt others and damage itself, Zhang said, adding that China can't afford to bear the impact of trade frictions. Trump tweeted that the U.S. was not in a trade war with China, hours after Beijing announced the tariff hikes. We are not in a trade war with China. That war was lost many years ago by the foolish, or incompetent, people who represented the U.S., Trump said. The new Chinese tariffs would affect farmers who come largely from states that voted Trump, experts say. Soybeans are the U.S. largest agricultural export, and about 60% of soybean exports go to China. The American Soybean Association has said that retaliation from Beijing could cost some U.S. farmers their livelihoods. Business is business, China's Vice Finance Minister Zhu Guangyo told journalists when asked if the measures were intended to hit Trump's voter base. We are forced to bring forward the product list, and there are grounds for the specific items and their order on the list. Boeing, the U.S. largest single exporter, might also take a hit as Chinese airlines could purchase more planes from European maker Airbus. Trump has complained that China coerces U.S. companies into transferring their technology and intellectual property to domestic Chinese enterprises when signing deals to do business there. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer said the U.S. needed to take effective action to confront China over its state-led efforts to force, strong-arm, and even steal U.S. technology and intellectual property, but business leaders and even members of Trump's own Republican Party have warned against the tariffs. Last month, the Chamber of Commerce described Trump's potential tariffs against China as damaging taxes on American consumers. Copyright DPA.